For today, we're going to be learning about multiplying and dividing fractions. In our last lesson, we learned how to add and subtract fractions. Am I correct? Alright. Multiplying and dividing fraction is actually quite easy once you understand how to do it. So let's jump straight into it. But actually, before that, I have to tell you some key points that we need to know when dividing or multiplying fractions. And here is the most important one that we have it highlighted, okay? We have to change a mixed number or a mixed fraction into an improper fraction, always, all right? So we cannot calculate it with a mixed number. It needs to be, with a mixed fraction, it always needs to be in improper fraction form. So, the next point we have is the one below, which states that we need to simplify our answer, and that means we need it to be in its simplest form. Alright? So, changing a mixed number into an improper fraction, if you don't know how to do that, here's how. So we have this mixed fraction that we have over here, which is 2 and 3/4. Okay? We will convert it into an improper fraction. Now, how do we do that? Well, it's quite simple actually. Alright? So, as you can see, the numbers that we have here, we have 4, right? We have 4. Okay? You just need to multiply 4 to 2 and then add 3. Okay? So, 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3 is 11. Am I correct? Yes, I am correct. Okay? So, our answer for that, or our improper fraction, will be 11 over 4. Now, sir, how did we get 4? Basically, when you're converting a mixed number or a mixed fraction into an improper fraction, the denominator will stay the same. Okay? So, we will just have to copy 4. The numerator is all that's going to change. Okay? So, again, that's 4 times 2 plus 3. So, that's going to be 4 times 2 is 8. And then 8 plus 3 is 11. That's how we got 11 over 4. So as easy as that, that's how we get an improper fraction from a mixed fraction. Now, let's actually discuss how we can multiply fractions. It's actually quite simple. Multiplying fraction is very, very simple. Okay? So multiplying fraction is easier than adding or subtracting. Okay? Because you don't need to find the common denominators. Yay! What does that even mean? It means that even though we have unlike fractions, it means that we're allowed to multiply them straight away. Okay? So, what do I mean by that? Let's jump straight into the rules of multiplying fractions. Okay? So, multiplying fractions, we just need to multiply it straight across. So whatever it is, whatever is on the opposite, then you just have to multiply that. All right? I'll give you an example later on so you can see. Okay? So that's multiply the numerator and then multiply the denominator. As simple as that. That's it. Then that's finished. Okay? So here's a few examples. We have 2/3. Okay, multiply to 4 over 5. Okay, all you have to do is multiply 2 to 4 to get 8 and 3 to 5 to get 15. So the answer for the number 1 is 8 over 15. As simple as that. Alright, for example number 2, we have 9 over 2 multiplied to 3 over 7. So again, you have to multiply the numerators. That means that 9 times 3 is going to be 27, and then 2 times 7 is going to be 14. So we have 27 over 14. Okay? Now, 27 over 14, okay, can also be put up as a mixed number. But we're not going to explain the mixed number here. Okay? For our third example, we have 2 and 1, 6 times 3 over 2. So as I told you, if we have a mixed fraction or a mixed number in the fray, we have to convert that first into an improper fraction. So what is the improper fraction form of 2 and 1/6? Right? So all you have to do is multiply 6 to 2, okay, which is going to give us 12, and then add 1, which is going to be 13. Okay? So we're going to have 13 over 6. So 13 times 3 is simply 39. And 6 times 2 is 12. So we have 39 over 12. Okay? Now, for example number 4, we have 5 times 2 over 7. So the numerator for 5 is going to be 5. And remember, when we have a whole number, we have an invisible denominator of 1 always. Okay? So 5 times 2 is equal to 10. And then 1 times 7 equal to 7. So we have 10 over 7. Okay? For example number 5, we have 5 and 1/3 multiplied to 9 and 1/2. Now for this one, I'm going to give you a few seconds to try and calculate it before I show you the answer. Okay? I'll give you around 5 seconds, or you can just pause the video right here, and then come back when you have the answer. Great, welcome back. Okay, so our answer for that is 50 and 2/3. So I'll make your life a lot easier by teaching you what is cross reduce. Okay, so cross reducing is basically when you are multiplying, you can simplify your factors by cross reducing. What do we mean by this? So here's some examples. Okay, and here's actually how to do cross reducing by using example number 1. Example number 2 and number 3 will be up to you guys on how you will solve that. Okay, but here's the first example for cross reducing, which is 6 over 25 multiplied to 5 over 24. Okay, so given over here, we can cross reduce the entire thing to 1 over 7 multiplied by 1 over 4. How do we do that? So as you can see here, 24 is divisible by 6, right? This is cross and this is cross, right? So you can use this as a base, right? So how many 6 are there in 6? We have 1, right? Now in 24, how many 6 can we see in 24? That's 6, 12, 18, 24. So we got 4, right? Same thing for 5 and 35. They're both divisible by 5. So how many 5s do you get in 5? You get 1. How many 5 do you get in 35? You get 7. And that's how we came up with 1 over 7 times 1 over 4. Now, after cross reducing it, we can now multiply it to give us the answer of 1 over 28. That's how cross reducing works. Okay, you basically reduce the values if they are both divisible crosswise. And now we're going to get into dividing. Dividing is actually a bit more complicated compared to multiplication. Okay, so here are the rules that we need to remember. Okay, so we need to keep the first fraction as is, change the division to multiplication, reciprocal of last fraction, and then multiply and simplify. That's it, as basic as that. Okay, so you probably are not familiar with reciprocal. What is reciprocal, sir? I will show you later on, right? So here we have an example over here. So we have 3 over 4 divided by 5 over 6. Am I correct? So we can cross multiply right away. The first thing we need to do, is to reciprocate. What is the first rule? Yeah, keep the first fraction. So we have to change the symbol from division to multiplication. And afterwards, we have to reciprocate this, which means that instead of 5 over 6, we're going to have 6 over 5. Alright? So
first example for division. Okay, we have 3 over 4 divided by 5 over 6. Okay, now the first thing we need to do is if you go back, okay, keep the first fraction as is, change the division to multiplication, reciprocal of the last fraction, and then multiply and simplify. All right, so let's go back to the slide real quick. So the first thing we need to do is change is to keep the first fraction, which is 3 over 4, as is. Okay, so that's why we have 3 over 4. And then I also change the division symbol, okay, to multiplication. And then I've reciprocated our second fraction, okay? So reciprocating means that you will just be putting whatever the numerator is to the denominator, and whatever denominator will go to the numerator spot, as we have over here. 5 over 6 became 6 over 5, right? Okay, so after that, we just have to multiply, right? So 3 times 6 is 18, and 4 times 5 is 20. So that's how we got 18 over 20. Okay, now we just need to simplify it. What is the simplest form of 18 over 20? It's 9 over 10, right? So that's how easy it is to divide and multiply fractions. And that's it for our lesson today. See you guys in our next lesson.